Esta es Andrea Calle con el Octágono y estoy con Karla Davis. Karla, cuéntanos, ha sido una rueda de prensa excelente. Este año para ustedes con grandes expectativas. ¿Qué esperas tú de estos 5 eventos que vamos a tener este año?
Primeramente, gracias por venir. Y eres
Gracias
muy
a ti.
bella y gracias por estar aquí con nosotros
Gracias.
en Fight Time Promotions. Como ustedes vieron en la prensa de conferencia, lo que estamos haciendo somos 5 shows en el War Memorial Auditorium en Fort Lauderdale. Somos los únicos promotores en Broward County, en el condado de Broward, que estamos haciendo 5 shows directamente, straight. La meta de nosotros es tratar de buscar los peleadores que tienen hambre, que quieren pelear, que quieren venir aquí y hacer un show espectacular. Entonces yo con mi esposo Howard Davis Jr. estamos promoviendo esto y estamos haciendo lo que podemos hacer para el negocio que estamos ahora y promover a los peleadores lo más posible.
No, y que no solo eso, sino que tienen el apoyo del mayor de la ciudad, que estuvo compartiendo con nosotros también. Entonces, obviamente esperamos grandes cosas de esto. También les agradecemos porque vemos que están tratando de traer no solo a la ciudad de Fort Lauderdale, sino también a la comunidad latina, a todos estos eventos. Entonces, ¿cómo piensan ustedes que esto va a influir en todo lo que es la comunidad latina?
Bueno, yo siendo latina, yo soy de Miami, mi familia es de Nicaragua. Una de las cosas que queremos hacer es tener peleadores de todas partes del mundo, no solamente americanos, donde sea, o brasileños, pero de todas partes del mundo. Y por eso estamos trabajando con bastantes gimnasios de Miami, del Doral, del Kendall, de todos lados, para que vengan al condado de Broward también. No somos promotores de Fort Lauderdale, somos promotores del sur de la Florida. Nosotros somos de aquí y queremos promover a todo el mundo, no solamente tener algo en un espacio pequeño, queremos ayudarle a todos los peleadores que están listos y tienen hambre y quieren pelear con Fight Time Promotions.
En este momento, ¿cuántos peleadores tienen ustedes firmados o cómo están manejando eso?
Estamos comenzando la cartelera con 12, sabiendo que siempre hay algo que pasa con algunos de los peleadores. Entonces, casi siempre terminamos con 10 o 8 peleadores, peleas. En estos momentos estamos promoviendo a un heavyweight que se llama Bruce Bellocchi, que era boxeador profesional y peleó 2 veces con David Tua, es italiano, vive aquí y está haciendo su pro debut con Fight Time Promotions y estamos muy alegres que él nos escogió a nosotros para hacer su pro debut y vamos a promoverlo y van a ver a un heavyweight grande aquí en el War Memorial Auditorium el 18 de febrero.
Ok, perfecto. Lo escucharon de Karla. Karla, también te quería preguntar, la gente que está viendo nuestra entrevista, ¿dónde pueden comprar, coger más información del evento? Danos esa información.
Bueno, hay 2 locales que pueden recibir los boletos para Fight Time 3. Pueden ir a fighttimepromotions.com o me pueden llamar a mí directamente. Yo tengo los tickets VIP, 786-543-1177. Pero siempre búsquenos en fighttimepromotions.com.
Muchísimas gracias. Y ella es Karla, nuestra aliada Karla con Fight Time Promotions. I'm here with the Fort Lauderdale Mayor, Mr. John Seiler. Mr. John, it is a pleasure for us to be here with you for all the support we've received from you, the MMA. We wanted to know how connected are you with MMA?
Well, I obviously I have 4 kids, and I've always been a huge sports fan. And so this is a sport, as I was just saying, it's really a sport that's come of age, and it's gotten very popular. And I enjoy it. I enjoy boxing. I now enjoy the MMA, and it's great to be the host venue for such an event. And listen, as I was mentioning earlier, you talk to the young, the next generation, the young kids. They love the sport. They appreciate it.
And how do you think, you being such a supporter of this sport, do you think another mayors will follow what you've done to bring it to other cities in Florida?
Well, I don't know. Right now, I'm most concerned about making sure it stays here in Fort Lauderdale. We think it's a good fit for the War Memorial Auditorium. We think it's a good activity to have here in the community. It's good for tourism. It's good for commerce. And so, my goal is to make sure that MMA stays here at War Memorial Auditorium. What the other cities or other mayors want to do is up to them. But I really think that this could be a win-win for us and for MMA if it can be successful here at War Memorial Auditorium.
Okay, that's great. One last thing, do you have a fighter that you follow that you like, or not yet?
Well, you know what? I'm a Howard fan. I'll leave it at that. I'm a huge fan of Howard. I remember him very well when he boxed in the Olympics, and but no, I think it'd be unfair for me to start taking sides. That'd probably impact the outcome of these matches. So I'll make sure that I'm going to stay neutral, and that evening we'll just be looking forward to some healthy competition and some good fighting. And you know, like watching these guys, they're tough, they're aggressive, and I'm very, very impressed with their athletic skills.
So it's more than fair to say that you're going to be here in the fight, in the upcoming 5 fights that we're having here at the War Auditorium, right?
Yeah, you know, I would love to get out here every chance I get. I think it'd be neat to see, and hopefully other people will get out here and we'll get a great crowd.
That's great. Thank you very much for your time,
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, and a pleasure.
Right, thank you.
Thank you. Octagono, and I'm here with Mr. Howard Davis, the CEO of 5-Time Promotions. Okay, we have 5 great fights coming right now. You have Fort Lauderdale's mayor supporting you.
Yes.
What expectations do we have for all the upcoming fights?
Well, the expectations that we're having is some good fights to be put on here, and this place has the history of boxing. With Don King's been here. There's been some MMA fights in the past that was showcased here, and now you got 5-Time Promotions, and this is our 3rd event. This is going to be our first event here, but our 3rd show, and I'm just very happy and pleased to be here.
Okay, you have a great boxing experience now with MMA. We also know that you train one of the Strikeforce fighters debut, and he won.
Yes.
So what does that feel to be?
Well, Roddy Ferguson fought last week. I forget the guy's name he fought, but Roddy came into the fight injured. He had a pulled hamstring, and if you noticed, I don't know if you saw the fight or not, but he fell down because his hamstring gave out. Roddy's probably one of the most gifted fighters. Even though he's only had 2 MMA fights, he's a very gifted fighter. He has a lot of background in judo. So that's why he came through with the fight, with the leg lock.
Okay, that's great. Where can we get more information, all our viewers? Where can they get more information about tickets, about the fights, about everything?
Well, the tickets are sold in 2 places, Ticketmaster, and you can go on my website, fighttimepromotions.com.
Okay, great. So this was Mr. Howard Davison. Thank you very much again.
My pleasure.
And we wish you the best in 2011. You have a great year front coming. So we're going to be here with you. Thank you. I'm here with Mr. Bruce Bellocchi. He's a boxer, and now he's taking his debut in MMA fighting. What does he feel after having such a long career in boxing, now changing to MMA, this being your first, fight? What are your expectations?
Well, in 1993 when the UFC started, I knew that the toughest guy was an MMA fighter. But there was no money in it at the time, and I was boxing and I was making some money, so there was no way I could have transitioned at the time. But in about 99 or 2000, when I stopped boxing, I focused completely on mixed martial arts, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, everything. So I know I'm going to end up with the tag as a boxer, even though I feel like I'm a lot more than that. And hopefully when my opponent gets in there, he thinks I'm a boxer like James Toney fighting Randy Couture. If I go down to the ground, I'll submit him. I'll knock a guy out on his feet. I just want to compete at the highest level. So this is my last opportunity to do anything like this, being that I'm 42 years old, even though I feel 25. So other than the gray hair coming in, we'll see what happens. I think it'll be a pretty successful debut for me.
All right, so during this past years, you've been actually training all different type of styles of different martial arts, pretty much. So you think you're very capable of pretty much being in front of any type of fighter, considering that you've been training for a long time?
Yeah, they asked me, who I wanted to fight, and I said, anybody. It really doesn't matter. A wrestler, a boxer, it doesn't matter what their background is. I've been training with guys like Frank Mir, Rico Rodriguez, Bas Rutten. I've trained with some really good guys over the years, and, being that my boxing was my number one thing, that's the thing I trained the least. So I've always worked on my ground game, my MMA game. So, for me, I don't want to I just don't care who I fight. Anybody, if I still think that I can do this, have someone prove me wrong. If someone can prove me wrong, maybe I'll hang it up. But I don't see it happening.
Okay, perfect. So we want to thank you very much for the interview. We wish you the best of luck. And I wanted to ask you, are you signed to be in the next 5 fights, or for now it's only the first one? Or
I signed an exclusive deal with Fight Time for the next 5 fights. So, one thing that's important to me is I'm going to be extremely loyal to the promotion that's giving me an opportunity to resurrect my career. And plus Howard's from Long Island. I've got an affinity for people from Long Island. So, I think it's a great match.
Para estar más informado, visita www.enoctagono.com.